In our next installment of the Eugenia Cooney Deep Dive series, we have a video on Eugenia's channel entitled The 90s Tag. Eugenia Cooney, which is interesting that she put her own name in the title. She clearly did that for more clicks, which means her name evidently held some sort of weight back than if she thought it would gather clicks. But let's dive in and see what this video is about.
Hey guys, it's Eugenia, and today I'm going to be doing the 90s tag for you guys.
Okay, so this is clearly another themed video of actual content, as opposed to just being about her looks.
I was born in the 90s, so that makes me a 90s kid, I guess. So, I'm just going to go back in time today, and I am going to talk about some of my favorite things from the 90s, and I'm going to answer these 90s tag questions. Here we go, guys.
So Eugenia shares that she was born in the 90s and was a 90s kid, so she should have some insight into what it was like during this decade. Off the bat, you notice she has a positive attitude and an engaging personality, which again is much different to how she is today.
Question number 1. What is your favorite TV show from the 90s? My favorite TV show was definitely the Powerpuff Girls. I wanted to be Bubbles.
Well, since she was a kid, it would make sense that her favorite show would be a children's cartoon. I personally thought the Powerpuff Girls was a 2000s show, but Google does in fact say it came out and ran in 1998. The more you know. Eugenia was born in 1994, so that would have made her around 4.
Next question, favorite toy. I was obsessed with Bratz dolls, and my favorite Bratz doll was Yasmin, and I don't even know how many I had, but I had tons of things. I had like the Bratz pad, I had the Bratz pool, and I had like so many Yasmin dolls. I don't even know where most of them are now, but...
So, I remember hearing something about how teachers apparently advised Eugenia's parents against continuing to get her these dolls for some reason, and how they kept doing it. Does anyone else remember that? I can't comment too much on it, but that's just something I'm gonna note here in case we find out more about it later.
I did manage to find one of them to show you guys. I liked them so much that even when they made like this huge Yasmin doll, I had to get it. She looks kind of different from the rest of them. Like from the rest of usually how the Bratz dolls look, because it's obviously a lot bigger, as you can probably see. But yeah, and her hair is pretty much like completely deranged right now, so she looks like a hot mess, but that's okay. She can work that messy hair.
One thing that's kind of interesting is the fact that her parents bought her so many of them. This would imply that they had the money to. So it seems like Eugenia was a pretty well-off kid, or at least was spoiled to a degree.
And she used to have like a hat on top of her. It was like a white hat. If she still had that, you probably wouldn't be able to tell her hair is kind of a mess right now. But she's still beautiful. She is still a beautiful doll.
Her and the doll are literally wearing what looks to be the same shades of makeup. It makes you wonder if Eugenia just treats herself like a Bratz doll, like she grew out of them, so became one herself.
On to the next question of the 90s. The next question is my favorite commercial. And I would have to say that one of my favorite commercials from the 90s, I still remember it, was Nickelodeon magazine. They would just make that seem like the coolest magazine in the world. I don't remember too much of it, but I did like it. So I'm gonna have to say the Nickelodeon magazine commercial.
So kind of a boring question, but this is a 90s tag, so there probably won't be anything too deeply insightful here. I will say she doesn't seem to be showcasing anything other than the theme of the video.
NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? I think we all love some NSYNC and Backstreet Boys songs. I mean, I had, songs in both of them that I liked. I think between the two bands, they both had their hits. I think I'd go with the Backstreet Boys because I Want It That Way is just such a hit. But they both had some really good songs.
How did I know she'd pick Backstreet Boys? She seemed like a Backstreet girl, since she liked the Jonas Brothers. Kind of an easy assumption. What about you guys, though? Whose side were you on?
The weirdest fashion trend of the 90s, tie-dye clothes. I remember a lot of kids back when I was in the 90s would wear like tie-dye clothes. Actually, one time I did buy a tie-dye shirt, and I remember at one point I did think that was a really cool shirt, but now when I look back on it, I'm like, no, why did I ever buy that? Just no.
It's so interesting how different her personality seems to be. She's even reflective here on choices she made in the past and is able to make fun of herself.
Favorite collectibles. I also loved Neopets. My favorite Neopet was Uni. She was like the unicorn. You know, she was a uni, but she looked like a unicorn. But you know, none of the Neopets are actually animals. Like, they're all completely separate. If you used to play in the Neopets website, they were all their own species. I would also play in that website all the time. I still think the website was better than Club Penguin.
I'm kind of confused how she was using websites in the 90s if the 90s weren't as technologically advanced as they are these days. Not everyone had a computer in the 90s, so her family must have been well off again to some degree. I looked this website up, and it says it launched in 1999, so Eugenia would have been 5 years old at this time. Was she really on the internet at 5 years old?
Favorite Beanie Baby. I was never really that into Beanie Babies, to be completely honest. But I had like one Beanie Baby I really liked. It was a bear. I think it was a tie-dye bear, even though I was like bashing tie-dye earlier.
Again, her personality shines through. She wasn't afraid to make fun of tie-dye, and full circles back to the joke. She's much more entertaining and engaging to watch.
But he was really cute. He was a really cute bear. How many Tamagotchis did you go through? I only had like 1 or 2 of the actual console. How many dead Tamagotchis I went through, I'm not sure.
I've never heard a Tamagotchi referred to as a console before. It was kind of just a little gadget.
Favorite game console. I was really into Game Boy. I had like the Game Boy Advance back when they were like totally not advanced. I mean, they were advanced, like they were called the Game Boy Advance, but you know, they've become much more advanced game systems since those days.
Again, she's comical and humorous. She cracks jokes and has a lot to say about the things that she's talking about. And again, her family was well off enough to get her this console, so it seems like Eugenia had it made as a kid as far as getting what she wanted.
I also had like a PlayStation. I had the first PlayStation, and some of my favorite games, I liked the Powerpuff Girls game a lot. I would play Sonic a lot. Sonic was really fun.
Again, another console, which would imply her family had enough money for these kind of things.
Favorite Disney Channel original movie. I loved Xenon. I watched that movie so many times. That movie was amazing. In terms of regular Disney movies though, I loved The Little Mermaid. Like back when I was a little girl, I was obsessed with Ariel. I had a doll of Ariel as well. I don't know why I never opened it, guys. I don't know why, but...
Another boring question about what she was watching during that time. Only thing interesting here is the fact that she didn't open up her doll, since she clearly was a kid who liked having lots of dolls and played with them. But maybe it was just special to her.
For some reason it's still in the box, but you know, that's okay. She could be a collector's item, so I don't think I'd even want to sell her because she is just too cool to sell. I just want her to be my best friend.
More of her personality shining through. You'd never hear Eugenia talking like this nowadays. She seems engaged with what she's saying and has plenty to say. She's not too much at a loss for words like she is nowadays.
Favorite music artist of the 90s? And I would have to say Britney Spears. You know, she had some really good songs. She still does. She still is gorgeous and makes amazing music. But yeah, I love some of her 90s songs. Who doesn't love Oops, I Did It Again? I think that's definitely a favorite of everyone.
No surprise there. Anyone who grew up in the 90s would remember that Britney ran the decade. Eugenia seems to be looking at herself a lot, but just her face, so she's not checking anything else out.
Favorite Nick Jr. show, and I honestly did not watch Nick Jr. much. I did like some little kid shows though, just not really on Nick Jr. Like I was obsessed with like Dragon Tales. I would watch Dragon Tales like every morning, and Arthur and all those shows that, you know, I'm sure you guys love. I'm sure you do, who doesn't?
She definitely was full of personality this year. It'll be interesting to see when that changes and she begins to lose it.
Favorite candy? I never really liked candy much, so I don't know. I didn't really have one.
Awkward food related question. Most kids love candy. It's surprising to hear that as a child she didn't like candy. Could just be her saying that, though for obvious reasons.
Favorite game? Like a board game? I liked The Wizard of Oz Monopoly. Because see, I loved The Wizard of Oz. I watched that movie so many times. I actually have it with me. I have The Wizard of Oz board game right here. It is like Monopoly, only Wizard of Oz. Pretty cool. You can follow the yellow brick road to take Dorothy back home because she wants to go home. So yeah, this was my favorite game. I played this game tons of times, which you could probably tell since the box is just a little bit messed up, probably from opening and closing it all the time. But it was fun. It was worth it. It was worth slightly ruining the box. And it's not really ruined. It just isn't perfect, but you know, it's okay.
I find it interesting that she has a lot of her childhood items still with her. It means her parents never got rid of them or threw them away, which, as most people know, is kind of rare. Most of the time, you lose a lot of childhood things as you grow and move, etc. So the fact that she still has access to a lot of nostalgic and childhood things means that someone made sure to take care of them.
Favorite McDonald's Happy Meal toy? I didn't really go there, but I mean, if I were to have a favorite toy though, I think that they gave like Bratz. Also, I think they gave Diva Stars once, and I used to also love Diva Stars. My favorite was Summer, and I had like all those ones, you know, with the big head.
Another semi-food related question. She says she didn't go to that fast food place a lot. She seems to sway away from talking about food-related things.
I know a lot of you guys say I have a big head too, so sorry, but oh well.
Again, a whole lot of personality. And she even stands up for herself and kind of confronts and claps back at commenters. Nothing seems to ruffle her feathers, and she seems to be full of confidence.
Favorite book? My favorite book when I was younger was definitely The Best Loved Doll. It was actually about dolls, and they were kind of like alive, kind of like how Toy Story is alive. And then there was like a beauty contest or something like that. And then there was this doll named Emily, and she wasn't really thought of as the prettiest doll, and there was a lot of other dolls that were considered like the beautiful dolls or whatever. But in the end, Emily ended up winning the contest. So that just is a good message, you know?
Okay, so we get a little insight here about books Eugenia read as a child. This one had a strong message about physical appearance. She said it was her favorite. That's pretty interesting. It's also interesting that it stuck with her years later, but she didn't really apply it to her life.
Favorite clothing store? My favorite clothing store when I was younger was definitely Limited Too. I think they're actually called Justice now, so now they're no longer Limited Too.
She's pretty informed about everything and has an answer for everything that typically comes with a story or a little tidbit. I feel like when she's asked questions nowadays, she doesn't nearly speak as much or have that much to say.
What would you watch when you get home from school? I would watch like Nicktoons a lot. I really like a lot of shows on that channel. I like Rugrats. Yeah, I have an Angelica doll. Angelica, her hair's a mess as well, guys. Sorry for all my dolls for their disgusting hair. I don't think it came this bad, but you know, I played with her a lot, so I guess after a while their hair gets destroyed. But she was my favorite Rugrat. I don't think she was really that mean. I think that, you know, she just was misunderstood sometimes. Angelica has her hair in a bun. She's so gorgeous.
Again, someone clearly took care of her childhood things. She seems to have access to nearly everything she's talked about, and is able to pull them out quick, which means she found them prior. It's interesting that she sympathizes with Angelica, who was known to be a bratty character. But who didn't love Angelica? You'd just think that someone who presents herself so soft and kind nowadays would have admired a softer character. But then again, her best friend was Jeffree Star for a long time, so maybe she applies the same logic to him. He's just Angelica. Misunderstood.
I also had Kim Possible. I loved Kim Possible. The Naked Mole Rat. Yeah, he's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I had.
More access to her childhood belongings. I wonder if she has the same kind of access nowadays. I know she was much younger then, so maybe it just wasn't as far out from her childhood.
Alright guys, and I think that is the end of the questions that I'm going to answer. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, and you know, if you like all these cool 90s things and stuff, then please give this video a thumbs up. That would be awesome.
So the video overall seemed to focus entirely just on the theme. Nothing else that you would expect nowadays. She stuck to the topic and never veered away. She actually did a lot of themed content back then, when she made an effort to produce actual content.
And if you haven't, guys, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you'll see when I post new videos, and that would be so cool. I'd really appreciate it. Bye guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye everybody.
Another thing I notice is how much happier she seems back then. It doesn't appear to be as put on as it does nowadays. She genuinely seems to be glowing and having fun on YouTube. She's engaged and energetic and entertaining. Nothing like she is nowadays. So at the end of the video, she promotes that video that she did prior, where she harassed people out on the street. So she was clearly proud of that work that she did. Luckily this time this video only required her to stay inside and not bother anyone else. And it was still entertaining for the most part, at least more entertaining than anything she's done recently. I'm interested to see when the personality shift and content shift begin.